What is up, guys? No Grace back again with not ADHD Garage this time. I believe it is full send factory now. Don't quote me on that because I'm constantly forgetting decisions I make. Clearly. If you haven't noticed by now, I am extremely indecisive. Which is why, I'm sure if you've been paying attention or if you are one of my close friends or a early supporter, shall I say, you'll notice there is one missing silver Mustang. You know, we have this important guy here, of course. That's my best friend's. That is his almost 7-second Fox body Mustang. If he sees this video before it hits 7 seconds, I'm sorry, Gino, I didn't mean to jinx you like that. But this car is going to hit 7 seconds very soon. I will put money on it. Very impressed with this car. He's put a lot of time into this car. If you want a full video on what's been done in the car, what it's gone through, how it started life, and how it ended up here, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to talk about it for a short period of time, shall we say. You get him going, we'll talk all day. But the way we are, I'm sorry, my hair's crazy. It's stuck. I'm covered in grease, so we'll get into that soon. Back to what I was originally saying. My silver Mustang is gone. Because, of course, I bought it for a cheap deal. I got it for $500 from a buddy down the road there. Put a little bit of money into it, you know, put a good front end on it, put some exhaust work into it, like put long tubes on it, did some exhaust work, did the J-mod with the transmission, basic maintenance. Then I flipped, made a fair bit of money off it, dumped it all into the Miata, and then I bought this $500 beater, which I know what is with me in $500 cars, or me in silver cars, shall I say, because it is also, well, silver-ish. The front end, you'll notice, is pretty ugly. Especially this is just beautiful, you know? It's just great. It's just great. But $500, 140,000 miles, and I bought off a fairly good friend of mine. So she is a 2000 E320 4MATIC at that. So you'll notice I just got back from my Walmart shopping with a case of water and such. But she is fully loaded. We actually even have the third row seating in the trunk. Crazy. So V6, all-wheel drive, third row seating. There is a bunch of foam back here from my Miata stuff. Of course, I put a subwoofer in it because, like, it's a wagon and it's a Mercedes. How can you not have a subwoofer in there? Soft close hatch, so, you know, got to be easy with it. Locks itself, you know, fancy stuff, fancy stuff. And if you'll notice, we're back to working on Miata stuff. I know it's been a long time there, YouTube friends, but this here, whatever this yellow's called, I forget. It's something obnoxious because, I don't know, I like obnoxious stuff that stands out, because I consider myself quite obnoxious. Not in an annoying sense, but at the same time also in an annoying sense, which clearly is why I own that car right there. But past that, we're back to work on the Miata, of course. You'll notice there's a little bit of wiring, just a little bit. It's kind of everywhere right now. I'm ordering new loom, and I gotta extend a few wires. I want to actually tuck it around the frame horns, and then paint the bay and do some fancy stuff. You know, no tuck and shave, because at the end of the day, I am building a driver's car. I'm not building a show car or some pretty boy. I'm building a car that I plan on driving and severely beating, which, you know, is why I'm not on some crazy 2-piece, 3-piece, $3,000 wheels, even though they look beautiful, and I support them because I do have myself some rare Japanese wheels. I love my Avantis. Like, these Avanti Storms, 15x8 plus 25, they have the, before I look at them, Continental Extreme Contact Sports on them, and a 205/50 R15, I think. That is the stickiest setup I've ever had on any car, especially this thing. I know it's low on power. What's it make, a whole 105 stock? Maybe. Probably at the crank. But throwing it anywhere in the corners, no matter what speed, like the sort of momentum you like, because at the end of the day, Miatas, and this thing especially, are momentum cars. You know, you got to take all that weight that it has and that little bit of power and just throw it into the corner as hard as you possibly can while keeping it stuck to the ground. Which is why I bring us to this topic. So currently, I've been working on these guys here, and my brother has done more than a crazy amount of help for me. More than enough favors and whatever I can possibly repay him ever to help me powder coat all this stuff. This is that crazy yellow I was just talking about. It's something obnoxious, like I just said. I don't know, I'm rambling, I'm sorry. You'll notice I have full Super Pro bushings here, and I have a whole bunch of Zerk fittings, because naturally, when you plan on going polyurethane, is that it? Yes? Polyurethane? Yeah, polyurethane. Because Delrin, you know, that's race car stuff, and it's also like double, triple the price, depending on what you go with. Polyurethane, you want to put Zerk fittings in the middle of the bushings, so right in that center seam where they have that little gap there, you can just hook a grease gun up to it, and then boom, re-grease it at the end of the season or whatever. These Super Pros are actually solid sections. You'll notice these are two different sizes, of course. Right now I'm working on these front lowers here, and you'll notice their instructions are actually great. So what I have here, if you see, there's a 1984 bushing there and the 1985. You'll see the 1985 is a little bit shorter and the 1984 is a little bit longer, like I have here. And they have the smaller flange going towards the front of the car and the larger flange on the inside to keep from slipping out, I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure. But besides the point, their instructions are fairly detailed, and you look at the bushings themselves. If you can see it, there is a, I don't know if it's focused or not, there's a 1984 right there, and a 1985 right here, if it's showing up correctly. I'm also mirroring it, so it may be completely backwards, and I may sound extremely stupid right now, which is highly likely, because that happens constantly. But, nonetheless, you kind of get what I'm getting at here. So I have this front lower control arm here, and you'll see I have the front bushing in that, what is that, what's the front number? 1984. But, like I was saying before, no Zerk fittings in these, because they're not two-piece style, at least 90% of them or whatever. They're not two-piece, it's just one solid bushing. So what they actually want you to do is take this insulation grease, and you're going to coat the whole guy. They say be pretty liberal with it, like coat the whole shebang here. Coat the outside, coat the inside. Of course, you'll want to coat the sleeve eventually, but you should have more than enough on the inside where it'll compensate. Just really rubber in there. Nobody likes a dry hole. Right? Nobody likes a dry hole. Just really coat the guy, cover it in grease, lube that hole. Really good. You see what I'm getting at here. Just make sure it's nice and slippery. Go ahead, completely coat it. It's still a hard polyurethane, so you're going to have a rough time putting it in. Trust me. Trust me. It's not going to be fun. But, you know, nonetheless, we go ahead and try to get it in, whichever way seems possible. Ah! Like I said, it's a really fun time. I hope you get to enjoy this. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if I have to end up cutting this video for how much I'm going to struggle with it. Because these bushings just seem like oddly large. I don't know if it's just the sleeve like shrunk overnight. I'm pretty sure it had to have. Because this is just not fair. Whatever's happened here is just not right. I'm gonna have to end up pausing this because I'm gonna get this at a later time. Clearly you've seen I can put the bushings in. We'll be alright. Just this one is just a really fun time, so we'll get back to this. I'm gonna catch up with you soon here. What's up, guys? Finally back. Clearly you can tell it's the next day. I did not find any luck trying to put that in last night, so I was like, alright, I'll sleep on it, think about it tomorrow. I think I have an idea. No idea if it'll work. I doubt it, honestly. But, sorry, you'll see here, I've got, of course, the control arm here. It is dirty because it's covered in grease and all my handprints from yesterday. But there's the bushing here. No sleeve on the inside, so I see where that's going to be a bit of my struggle there, my hard point. It's going to wobble around a little bit. You'll see I have a long piece of stud here, a massive washer, lock nut, washer, caps nut. So I can hopefully put a wrench or something on this end and then suck this through when tightening this nut, essentially pulling this in like a bolt. Who knows if it's actually going to work? I don't think it will because, like I said, there's no sleeve inside of here. So it's moving around. I'm thinking about putting the sleeve inside the bushing, but then, of course, the bushing will expand and I may have negative effects that I'm not looking forward to there. But, nonetheless, I guess I'm just going to send it because that's what we're all about, and then we'll see how it goes. Of course, if this does work, I'm not going to show you all of them because it's probably still going to be a horrible process. But just in case, you know, you're having the same fun time I am. Like I said, definitely going to slip around because of that sleeve. I hate to say there's no way I just worked, but I'm honestly impressed. It makes sense that the science is there. Well, getting it off may be a bit of a strong suit I was not prepared for. So I hate to say I can't believe it, but honestly, it worked too well. I did not see anything going this well at all. Like I said before, if you get the sleeve only partially in and then let go, it will rock it right back at you. But yeah, I guess I'm going to do the rest of the arms now. If anything fails, that's what we'll interact again. But let's get to it. Put you on some hyperlapse here and put on like some sweet, interesting jams. Don't want to get copyrighted, you know. And I guess I'll see you back here in like what, 5 minutes? Well, I'm not gonna lie, that sucked. But that method works great. Just long stud in the center with the bushing on the outside of the sleeve, stud through the center, washer, lock nut, because I have large and small washers. I didn't have the perfect mixture. And on your side, then on the other side, large washer, medium-sized washer, small washer, then caps nut so it would spin freely and be easily rotating. Sucked all the bushings in the sleeves. Seemed to work out fairly well, actually. A few of them went in by hand, of course, like the The rear uppers are extremely easy to put in / replace because they're actually split casing. But oddly enough, like I was saying before, Super Pro doesn't recommend, like they don't say about, putting in Zerk fittings and constant greasing, which is honestly very odd. I'm guessing they want you to disassemble, like take out the sleeves and then grease them in whole, because I know a lot of other companies have split bushings where it's just two halves that slide together with a little bit of like about an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch gap in the center, and then boom, you have a Zerk fitting in the middle, like this group of them that I have up here. So I have a few specific ones set out. These are a 1/4 by 28. I bought all these Lowe's. These are extended ones actually, because there's a few areas on the control arms where you won't be able to get a standard size Zerk fitting in, because of course our control arms are like 2 to 3 layers of metal. And it's not super thin, it's not playing with paper here. But besides the point, of course, got all the bushings in, and let me show you this color combo. It is beautiful. Flip you around. Of course, they are still covered in grease, like I had said before, and all my handprints and everything. But that, what's this called? Supernatural yellow. That's the color. Supernatural yellow and Super Pro bushings. It's just a great combo. Like that purple blurple, shall I say? That blurple and this like highlighter yellow color on camera looks a little bit different, but it's overall just beautiful. It's amazing, honestly. I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. I happen to have a black light, just a little keychain guy, inside the car here that I'll pick out real quick. And I'll show you why they call it Supernatural Yellow. Of course, it's not too dark, so you won't be able to see too many effects. But if we get close enough, I'm hoping that maybe. And you can see I just had a little dot right there. Under black light, this powder coat tends to react fairly interestingly. Because, of course, it has that high reflective light underneath it, but still, it's a very reactive color. You can see they're just covered in dust already. I've been sitting for 2 days. A day, even. You can see it's a very reactive color, so I have actually found a way to get 12-volt LED black light underglow underneath the car. So we're going to work on that and then pull up to like car meet or one of the late night shenanigans, turn on the black light, boom, just completely underlit car with the black light and this supernatural reactive powder coat. Other than that though, not a whole lot's been going on. I'm planning on making the RX-7 look good here soon. Sorry, I cannot see. I'm blind. But you'll notice I have my Weld 5 stars on here, the Pro stars. And I have completely different tire sizes on there. I have the 2 matching ones for the front that'll go on the rear, and it'll be just a square setup the whole way around. And then, of course, sitting behind my other jump, I have a full racing beat suspension for the car. There's springs, there's Coney red adjustables for the rear as well. See, I've seen some abuse. They still have good pressure in them, still have good dampening. It's all adjustable. Then there's the racing beat fronts or rears there. There is an intake manifold. If anybody's looking for a 12A intake manifold and DeLorto side drafts, there's a full shebang there, which is in pretty alright setup or shape. Then the triangulated strut tower brace, of course. And then I've been cleaning, that's why I just scattered them. I'm a mess. There's sawdust up here to try and collect a little bit of the oil because we moved the engine block out to my buddy's house to go to the machine shop, and I just spilled oil everywhere, and there's all this junk everywhere. Of course, you know, just natural junk collection, just all my car junk. But yeah, it's been going pretty swell. So, I'm going to get to clean up those control arms. It's not really something you guys would care to see. I'm going to clean up the control arms a little bit, swap tires on the RX-7, get a few things done around the garage, and then I'm sure the next video we make will be either zinc plating the bolts, and I'll show you how to DIY that, or it'll be full assembly of the subframes, and I'll be working on making the diff look pretty, mounting that up in the subframe, see how that goes. We're getting towards reassembly though. That's the exciting part, so if you've known me for a while, you know this has been a big dream of mine, is to build a Miata since I was about 10 or 11 years old, so it's finally happening. Finally getting the time to work on my own stuff. It's really amazing. This is something I didn't think would come true for a long time. Still just a kid. We're trying though. So we'll see you next time. Get to the next video. See what we get to. I don't know. Maybe I'll own different garbage. You never really know. Thanks for sticking around. See ya.